Hey boys and girls, this is Klaus from Team Oshigumi, and we'll be doing a deck profile on, well, here's a hint. That's called the chocolate sleeve. I wonder which character loves sweets. Rin Hashima, bitches. It's time for Angel Feather deck profile. Alright, and as usual, and then always, our video, again, today was sponsored by Patrick O'Donnell Designs. If you want your playmat design, however the fuck you want it, you hit this man up in the link below, and he will make it come true. Thumbs up. This was designed by me and him. I told him how I wanted it. I gave him the idea, and he made it happen. Cool story beans. Anyways, fuck that, dude. Let's go back to the deck profile in hand. Alright. So, I run for Gavrail Prism. Prism's good because her skill essentially is upon striding, you get to choose one card from the end, put it to the demo zone. Wait a minute. Yeah, choose a card from your hand, put it in the demo zone, choose one card from your demo zone into your hand, and also then choose one card from your demo zone, heal it, and then deal 1 damage to the Vanguard. So rescue check from the start, bitches. Her second skill, GB2 skill, is so good because it is you counterblast any card with rescue ability in your damage zone, and that will suffice as a stride cost. So practically a free stride, and I still run 4 of Gavrail OG. Her skill essentially upon striding, counterblast 1, choose 1 card from your hand. From your hand and put into the damage zone. No, never mind. First skill is whenever GB2, whenever a card goes to the damage zone, you gain 2,000. And her on-strike skill is auto, counterblast 1. If I do, search up to look at the top 3 cards, choose 1 card among them, put it to the damage zone, choose 1 card face up, and then put the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order you want. And then choose a card from your damage zone, call to the rear guard, and give that 2,000. So, major difference between the two is one's more towards defensive playstyle and one's more towards offensive playstyle. Moving on. Of course, if you're running Angel Feather and especially Gavrail Rescue Deck, you gotta have this lady, the Nurse of Broken Heart. She can break my heart any day because all she does is make me stronger. Essentially, literally anytime a card touches the damage zone, the G-spot, yeah, she's gonna get 2,000, and then she's gonna give the Vanguard 2,000. So when you're getting attacked and you get a card tossed into the damage zone, this bitch is gonna be like, all right, bitch, give me more, hit me, daddy. And she's gonna give power to herself and then power to the Vanguard, and you're not gonna be able to hit the Vanguard. Essentially, have 2 of these out and have her out. That's 6k anytime a card touches the damage zone. So good luck trying to hit that. She's a girl that you'll never get. Moving on to 3 Harrots. Her essential skill is that whenever she's being boosted, you get to counterblast 1. Look at top card. Top 2 cards from the deck. Choose one of them and put it to the damage zone face down, and send the other one to the bottom of the deck. And then choose 1 card from the damage zone. Put it into your damage zone face up, not face down. And then choose 1 card from the damage zone and call it to the rear guard. So essentially, she helps build your field. If you had let's say you have a booster unit, and you have empty space here, and you have a Heartbreak Angel over here, essentially attack, counterblast 1, you call this bitch out here, essentially. Oh, I want to point out, you cannot call the same unit out as this one, if I recall. Actually, it doesn't even say that. So, yeah, you can just call her out over here, and then call another unit out, and essentially go back and forth, if you really wanted to. Moving on to grade 2 unit. Okay, so these two are kind of like something I'm testing out with right now. I was running 4 of the grade 2 no CL, but I'll get back to the no CL in a second. The reason why I'm running Azizel, whatever her name is. So her skill occurs in GB1 when she's in the damage zone. When a unit with the rescue ability attacks, you may pay the cost by counterblasting, and then you get to call this unit to the rear guard. And if you call this, if you called it, you take the top card of your deck into your damage zone face down, and then you choose a card from your damage zone and then heal it and do a rescue check. So let's put this in this perspective. Let's say your Vanguard attacks, right? It'll be Gavrail, of course. GB1, and this is here. She gets to come out of the field, so if you get to build your field on top of it. Then you take the top card to the damage zone. From then, you heal 1 damage, and then deal 1 damage to your Vanguard. Meaning you get to pretty much get a free drive check / rescue check. It's not really a drive check, it's a rescue check. Let me clarify that shit. So she's good in terms of that. Field building and giving triggers to your Vanguard. Now back to the last 2 cards in my grade 2 lineup is the grade 2 no CL. She's so good in my opinion because of the fact that if you are ever grade stuck and you literally go see a grade 3 go in slow motion to the damage zone, and you're literally screaming internally in angel feather language going when you're at grade 1, and you're like, holy shit, I need to get that card into my hand or I'm going to G-assist. You call this lady out, she'll be like, say no more, bitch. Pop's got you. So whenever she hits the rear guard circle, not from hand, whenever she goes to the rear guard circle, you get to choose 1 card from your hand, put it into the damage zone, and if you do, you choose a card from your damage zone. Doesn't have to be face up, it can be face down. You can put that card into your hand. So there are numerous times when she essentially helps me prevent getting grade stuck, and or help me get the ideal Gavrail I want for my matchup. Since we're talking about no CL, where would we be without the grade 1 no CL? This bitch is so good and not printed enough. There's not even a fucking reprint yet. So she's expensive as fuck. But her skill is so good because when she hits the Guardian Circle, not GB1 restricted, mind you, you get to choose 1 card from your hand, put it into your damage zone, and choose 1 card from your damage zone to your hand. So she also helps you helps prevent you from getting grade stuck at any point. You're grade stuck at grade 2. Oh, say no more. Boop, boop, get a grade 2. Oh no, I'm being attacked and I'm going next and I don't have no seal in my rear guard. Say no more, fam. She's gonna come out and be like, here, I got you, baby. And she'll get you your grade 3. Now, going to the next grade 1 lineup is the new PG, the Arakiba. Essentially, her skill is so much better because when she's in the damage zone, you get to activate her skill, GB1. She comes to the Guardian Circle, she becomes a 15k shield, and then you take the top card into your damage from your deck and put it face down to the damage zone. If you do, choose 1 card from your damage zone, heal it, then choose 1 of your Vanguards and deal 1 damage. Essentially, you're getting a free rescue check at the cost of losing 2 cards. Well, 1 card. Well, 2 cards from your deck. Because 1 goes here, comes back, and then you do that one. So, there were many times where, like, when I was playing against one of my locals, you've seen him, the guy named Justin, who plays, Fenrir, loser. He did, like, 5 damages to me on his first turn stride. And essentially she came in handy and she literally just got me to like 2 damages from 5, and I just left at him because the nurses love me. Moving on. Only 3 stride fighters, and yeah, some of y'all bitches are gonna bitch and moan, oh no, why only 3? You should run 4, you're so bad. No, you really don't need more than 3 anymore because of Prim, you simple-minded fuck. And also, if you're running Prim, or if you're on this one, the other grade 3, Gavrail doesn't really serve much purpose other than strike foddering. So, enough said. Moving on. And the last 3 in the grade 1 lineup is the Sartell. Sartell is really good because she helps rewind cards back to your deck. Her skill is whenever a card is put into your damage zone, so it doesn't matter which reason, as long as it's your turn, you may pay the cost by putting this to the bottom of the deck, use Soul Charge, and then you choose a normal card and a trigger card from the drop zone, so returning 2 cards to the deck, and you shuffle your deck. So essentially, you want to put your heal trigger back, you want to put your stun trigger back, this girl's got you back. Speaking of stun triggers, we run 4 no CLs because she also helps, because it's not GB1 restricted, put card from your hand to the damage zone and put the damage zone card into your hand at the cost of putting her into your soul. So soul charge and prevents you from getting great stuck. Moving on to the heal triggers. This heal trigger is the best heal trigger there ever was and ever will be at this given time. Especially for Angel Feathers. Because her skill is, when she boosts, the boosted unit gains 3,000 power boost. And on top of it, at the beginning of your end phase turn, of that turn by the way, you get to return this to the deck and you shuffle. Meaning, if you had this out and you're just like, you know what, I have no use for having heal trigger at this early game, I want to have heal triggers in my deck, let me call it out. Let me boost it, fucking wreck the opponent, and then put it back to the deck and shuffle and let it come back to me later. So it's like you're saving it for a spank bank, essentially. So wrong. Moving on to next, my four crit triggers. The Munkar. Black Spark Munkar is really good because her skill, generic as fuck, put it into the soul when your Vanguard is attacking, give it 5,000 and draw a card. So soul charge and draw ability. Now, moving on to the next 3 cards. The new MVP card that just came out from GBT 13. Her skill, essentially, counterblast 1, put this to the soul charge, and then you get to choose 2 circles or 2 cards in your damage zone, and you flip them face up. The way they phrase it is smart. They phrase it that way specifically, so when you go against fucking Link Jokers, yeah, you Chaos Breaker players, yeah, you fucking Messiah players, probably talking to myself right there too, actually, you can go fuck yourself, because you know what, you can lock my units, because I'm gonna unlock those bitches right back up. So she's gonna unlock your rear guards, because it doesn't say choose a card, it says choose a circle, just like how Overlord Destiny says choose a circle. You get to target the circle, so you get around the little loophole and the phrasing and shit, so you get to unlock your units or counter charge. That's why this critical trigger is good. And the original MVP of Gavrail deck, we cannot play the deck without Refros. Refros was so good, so good, Bushiroad had to step in and be like, okay, we realized we fucked up, this has to be only 1 per deck, we had to restrict it. Realize they're not gonna Erida, Dust, because Dust doesn't need Erida, you simple-minded fucks. But they realized this needed it, so they did it. Essentially, his skill, I don't even know if it's a girl or a guy at this point. Point being is, this guy's skill is counterblast 1, put this top of the deck, choose 2 cards from your damage zone, put it to the top of the deck, shuffle your deck, and then put the top 2 cards to the damage zone. By doing so, you draw a card. Essentially, you recycle the stand trigger and whatever the cards you had here. If they had, like, let's say you had like all 4 heals in your damage zone for some reason, you put 2 of them back to your deck at the cost of bringing 2 cards back out. It is so good, especially with Broken Heart. That shit will power that baby right back up. And of course, last but not least is our starter, which is the Black Candle Azrael. Azrael is really good in my opinion. No matter what other starters they are out there, my experience, Azrael is better because her skill is you counterblast, put this in soul, you get the top 2 cards. Put the top card into the damage zone, face up. If I do, choose 1 card from the damage zone, put it to my hand. Specify face up card in your damage zone. So she also helps me set up for next turn, my defense turn, yada yada yada. Point being is, she's the best. Don't use any other starters because the other ones suck. She's the best. She's the best. Now say it with me, boys and girls. She's the best. Good. Now, enough of this bullshit. We're going to the G zone. Alright. The G zone starts with 4 of Eden. There's a lot of people that I've seen on Vanguardian and some other YouTube channels that they're only running 2. I don't understand why. You want to run 4 of this shit. She's your first turn stride. She's the best to go. She's just too good. Her skill is when she hits the Vanguard circle, you Soul Blast 1, you choose Persona Flip. She's a card from your damage zone, heal and deal 1 damage. Essentially what she So what that means, if you have Prism as your grade 3 Vanguard and you shot onto this, your Prism skill, you get to choose whichever you want to use first. I will use the Prism skill first, obviously, and you do rescue check with her. Then you rescue check again with her, so 2 chances to pull a fucking trigger. So good. And then her second skill essentially is when this unit attacks, you get to choose the same number of cards from your damage zone as the same number of cards in your G zone. You call it to the rear guard, and if you do, that card gains 3,000 until end of the turn, and you get to put the same number of cards that you called out from the top of the deck to the damage zone face down. So what that means is if you have Broken Heart Angel, I'll just keep bringing that back up again. But pretty much, essentially, it will power up your Broken Angel and at the same time of giving power to your Vanguard. So it's not a rescue check. It just put the top card. So keep that in mind. This is the one that does the rescue check. So you have to activate her skill. It's not an auto skill. You have to do it if you want to use the skill. You counterblast 1, you Persona flip, and then she gains the auto skill. I have seen people who when they want to try out this deck because they've only seen their friends use it and they automatically assume you get the auto skill. You do not get the auto skill. You have to use the active skill to get the auto skill. Essentially, her skill is when she attacks during your battle phase, anytime a card goes into your damage zone, you get to choose up to 2 units and give it 2,000. So 2,000 or 3,000? If I recall, it's 2,000. Yeah, 2,000. And after she attacks, you get to rescue 2 cards. Meaning, after she attacks, after you're done your triple check, you get to choose 2 cards from your damage zone, heal it, then deal 2 damage to your Vanguard. Means you have 2 more chances to get a decent triggers to either heal, stand, or give crits to your rear guard. Means damn good. Alright, now I will tell you to run 2 Raphael. The reason Raphael is good is because GB3, she gets to choose one of your cards from your damage zone and heal it. Just don't even do rescue check, don't worry about it. Free heal on the house. So this means you should just use this when you know the Dark Zone player you're playing against has a Zeroth dragon of the end of the world. You can just use this to prevent yourself from being at 5 damage at the end of this fucking turn. So stop bitching about Zeroth Dragon Dust. Okay, it's not at OP. It is OP, but it is not going to break the game. There's been worse. Every year, some card comes out, and all you fucking sheeps are going to start bitching and moaning. Don't worry about it. Use her. You'll be fine. You're going to lose anyways, but you'll be fine with her. Moving on to the GB8. GB8 is really good in this deck. Her skill essentially is when she attacks, give all of your units in the front row, which is including herself, 2,000 for every card in your damage zone. So idealistically, I purposely set up up to 5 damage when I'm going to use GB8 next turn. So 10,000 to your board. And then on top of it, I get to heal. I get to choose up to 5 cards from my damage zone and heal them. Keyword, choose up to. You don't have to do all 5. So means you can heal all 5. You can heal 1, 2, whatever. Heal them. And then do a damage. And then deal a damage to your card, to your Vanguard, the same amount of cards that was just healed. Meaning you get to do up to 5 rescue checks. So I usually do use all my rear guards up, use her, and hope to God I get one or 2 send triggers. Generally I get like 2 or more. So then I stand my rear guard up and attack again. And if I have my broken hearts out, that becomes a power column. And there were times where they actually hit like over 60k each without being boosted. So she's your ideal finisher. You'll also realize, since we're talking about rescue a lot right now, this deck is super rush deck, and you're gonna deck out real quick if you don't know how to manage your deck a lot. That's why Sartell was invented, I think, because it helps kind of countermeasure that. But you gotta be careful, because when you use this, you're gonna use it to win. If you do not win with this card, the chances of you winning has decreased significantly. You may have to just surrender at that point. Moving on to the G Guard. The new G Guard, you want to run one of her, because her skill is based. Her skill allows her to gain power for the number of face down cards in your damage zone. If you have 2 or more, she gains 10,000. And then if you also have 3 or more, she gains additional 10,000, meaning that she's a 35 G guard, 35k G guard. So essentially, she's your little bit like a late game G guard. The flip G guard, she's kind of the opposite. Her skill is Soul Blast 1, flip a G guard. If you do, she gains 5,000 for until end of that battle for every face up card in your damage zone. So she's the opposite, yin yang pretty much. And then last but not least, you want to run 3 Surreal. Surreal is your ideal G guard for Angel Feathers because her skill is based on you getting a free rescue check essentially. So when she hits the Guardian Circle, you counter blast 1. If you do, look at the top card of your deck. You can choose to put it to the top of the deck still or put it to the bottom of the deck. And then you take 1 card from your damage zone, heal it. If I do, then I get to choose 1 card from my deck and then send it to the damage zone. Meaning, if I look at the top of the deck and it's a fucking heal trigger, you bet your ass I might just leave it there so I can use a heal. So she's going to help you with that. Now, pretty much that's the end of the deck profile. If I were to say one thing and one thing only, is that this Angel Feather deck, because I know you guys are going to ask about what tier is it, what rank is it, how good is it. Alright, it's a very hard deck to play, in my opinion. Because majority of your fucking community in Vanguard does not know the basic reading, basic English for that matter. Whatever country they're from, you can probably give it to them, their native language, if they even have it. And even then, they probably wouldn't be able to play this deck because they suck at reading and they don't really pay attention. Tier-wise, it's definitely a tier 3. At best, it's a tier 2 deck if the pilot of the deck knows how to use it and has a very good grasp of managing the field a lot. Because you pretty much have 2 hands. Your actual hand and your damage zone. Your damage zone is your secondary hand that you need to know how to maneuver and manage and maneuver from. So if you feel you're confident in that, then you can use this deck and you could play a little head to toe against some tier 2, tier 1 decks. I don't want to say that because tier 1 decks are right now, due to current meta, tier 1 decks are about field control and managing in large hand quantities. You could potentially win against tier 1 decks if you know how to rush that correctly, and as I said, it's totally skill based. But this deck is a tier 3 deck. But it's very fun. It's like a rogue deck. Not many people know how to play against it because they rarely see it anymore, and they'll think you're cheating, but you're not. And don't worry, if you have 6 cards in your damage zone when you're doing like rescue check, doesn't mean you lose. It means you still need to fulfill your thing. So at the end of it, you still might be at 5 damage. That's not cheating. But that's it. That's pretty much it for today, guys. I hope you liked the video. I hope you learned a little bit about it. And I hope you learned the weakness of this deck, aka burn, broken heart. Don't let that shit stay on the field. I digress. Anyways, hope you guys liked it. If you liked it and learned from it, click that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, then what the fuck's wrong with you, bitch? Subscribe now. Alright, peace, scrubs.